Imagine waking up, stepping on the scale, feeling good about your progress, or maybe you're just trying to hold on to that focus at your desk before lunch. You had a healthy breakfast, you're being good. But what if I told you that right now, as you're reading this, the breakfast you just ate, the one you think is healthy, is actually setting you up for a blood sugar spike so dramatic that by 10 in the morning, you're fighting an energy crash, reaching for that second cup of coffee or a sugary snack just to stay awake. And it's not just about energy. Here is the hidden risk that most people completely overlook. When your blood sugar spikes and crashes like a roller coaster first thing in the morning, you are triggering inflammation in your body, you're storing fat, and you are accelerating the aging process. In fact, some research suggests that these morning metabolic mistakes can increase your risk for chronic diseases like diabetes and heart disease later in life, regardless of how much you exercise. But here's the good news. You are about to discover the 3 most common, seemingly harmless breakfast mistakes that are sabotaging your health, and more importantly, how to fix them starting tomorrow morning. And trust me, one of these mistakes is so counterintuitive that you probably do it every single day thinking it's the healthiest choice you could possibly make. Let's start with the first mistake, and this is the big one, the one that shocks almost everyone I talk to. It's the classic healthy breakfast. A big, beautiful bowl of oatmeal, maybe some low-fat yogurt with berries, or a smoothie packed with fruit. It looks perfect, right? It's what every magazine cover tells you to eat. But here is the hidden trap. You are likely starting your day with a massive dose of sugar, and I'm not just talking about the spoonful you put in your coffee. I'm talking about the carbohydrates that turn into sugar the second they hit your bloodstream. See, when you eat a breakfast that is primarily carbohydrates, even the healthy, complex ones, you are essentially flooding your system with glucose. Your body releases insulin to deal with this flood. Insulin is the hormone that shoves sugar into your cells for energy, or if there's too much, it stores it as fat. The problem is, if you eat a high-carb breakfast without enough protein, fat, or fiber to slow down the absorption, that insulin spike is too aggressive. It clears too much sugar from your blood, leaving you with what we call reactive hypoglycemia, a blood sugar crash just a few hours later. That's why at 10 or 11 in the morning you feel shaky, irritable, and suddenly desperate for a cookie or a latte. You think it's just a normal mid-morning hunger, but it's actually a biochemical crash caused by the breakfast you ate. And here's the kicker. When you crash, you crave more sugar to bring your energy back up, and the cycle repeats all day. This isn't just about weight gain, it's about the constant metabolic wear and tear on your body. It's about the glycation process, where excess sugar molecules attach to proteins in your body, creating advanced glycation end products, appropriately called AGEs, which literally age your skin and organs. Now let's talk about the second mistake, and this one is deeply connected to the first. It's the belief that liquid calories don't count or that they're somehow different. I'm talking about your morning smoothie or your fresh-pressed juice. You might be blending spinach and kale with an apple, a banana, and some orange juice. You think you're drinking a salad, but you're actually drinking a sugar bomb. When you chew fruit, you're breaking down cell walls, and the fiber in that fruit helps regulate how fast the sugar, fructose, hits your liver. But when you blend it, you are pre-digesting that fruit. You are pulverizing the fiber, making the sugar immediately available for absorption. A smoothie can contain the sugar equivalent of 6 or 7 pieces of fruit. You would never sit down and eat 7 oranges in 5 minutes, but you can drink them without even realizing it. That massive sugar load goes straight to your liver, which can't process it all at once, so it starts converting that excess sugar into fat, a process called de novo lipogenesis. And if that smoothie doesn't have a significant source of protein or healthy fat, like a good scoop of protein powder, some nut butter, or chia seeds, you are riding the blood sugar roller coaster before you even leave the house. You might feel a burst of energy for 30 minutes, but by the time you get to work, the fog is rolling in. The fix here is not to ban smoothies, but to think of them as a delivery system for protein and fat, not just fruit. You need to flip the ratio. More greens, a smaller amount of low-sugar berries, and a solid base of protein and fat. The third mistake is probably the most surprising one because it has nothing to do with what you eat. It has to do with when you eat it and what you've done before you eat it. This is the concept of the cortisol connection. Most people don't realize that when you wake up in the morning, your body is naturally in a state of high alert. You have a spike in cortisol, the stress hormone, to help you wake up. This morning, cortisol spike also temporarily raises your blood sugar to give you immediate energy to get out of bed. It's a survival mechanism. Now, if you jump out of bed and immediately stuff your face with carbohydrates, You are adding sugar on top of an already elevated blood sugar level caused by cortisol. It's a double whammy. But here's the more nuanced part of the mistake. If you are chronically stressed, if you didn't sleep well, or if the first thing you do is grab your phone and scroll through stressful news or emails, you are prolonging that cortisol spike. You're keeping your body in a stressed, high-alert state. Then, you eat breakfast. That combination of high-stress hormones and high-carb food creates a perfect storm for insulin resistance. Your cells, which are already on high alert from the stress, become less sensitive to insulin's message to open up and take in sugar. So your body has to pump out even more insulin to manage your blood sugar, leading to a bigger crash later and more fat storage. The mistake is eating breakfast while your body is still in a fight or flight state. The solution is to create a buffer. Take 10 minutes after waking to lower your stress before you eat. Don't look at your phone. Maybe do some deep breathing, stretch, or just sit quietly with a glass of water. Allow that morning cortisol to naturally subside. Hydrate first. Your body is dehydrated after sleep, and dehydration alone can thicken your blood and raise blood sugar. Drinking a big glass of water first thing helps rehydrate you and signals your body that it's safe to start the digestive engines. So, how do you actually build a breakfast that keeps your blood sugar steady, your energy high, and your metabolism humming for hours? It's actually very simple. You have to think in terms of a metabolic trifecta. You need protein, you need healthy fat, and you need fiber. And you need to eat them in that order of importance. Protein is the most critical. It slows down gastric emptying, which means the sugar from your meal hits your bloodstream gradually. It also triggers the release of glucagon, a hormone that counterbalances insulin and helps release stored energy. Think eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, a quality protein powder, or even leftover meat from dinner. Then add the fat. Fat also slows down digestion and is essential for hormone production and satiety. That could be avocado, nuts, seeds, olive oil, or the fat naturally in your eggs or yogurt. Then you add your fiber from vegetables, lower sugar fruits like berries, or even a tablespoon of flaxseed or chia seeds. The carbohydrates you eat should come from these fiber-rich sources, not from grains and sugars alone. Imagine a plate with 2 eggs scrambled in butter or olive oil, a handful of spinach wilted into the eggs, half an avocado, and a small side of berries. Compare that to a bowl of cereal or a bagel. The first plate will keep your blood sugar steady for 4 to 6 hours. The bagel will spike it and crash it in two. And it's not just about what you eat, but how you sequence it. There's fascinating research showing that if you eat your vegetables and protein first and leave the starches and sugars for last, you can significantly blunt the blood sugar spike. The fiber and protein create a mesh in your stomach and small intestine that physically slows the absorption of the sugar that comes later. So, if you're going to have something like toast or a small potato, don't eat it first. Eat your eggs and veggies, and then have the toast. It's a tiny change in order that can have a massive impact on your metabolic response. Think about the long game here. Every time you spike your blood sugar, you create oxidative stress and inflammation in your body. Over time, these repeated spikes wear down your body's ability to produce insulin effectively. This is the path to prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. But it's also the path to feeling tired, brain fog, and struggling with weight that just won't budge, no matter how much you exercise. Your breakfast sets the tone for your entire day, metabolically speaking. It dictates whether your body will be in fat storage mode or fat burning mode. It dictates whether your brain will be clear or foggy. It dictates whether you will be fighting cravings all day or in control of your choices. When you stabilize your blood sugar in the morning, you stabilize your energy, your mood, and your appetite. You stop being a slave to the 11 a.m. vending machine run. You stop having those afternoon slumps that require another coffee and a sugary pick-me-up. You give your body the chance to actually burn its stored fat for energy because insulin levels are low and stable, and insulin is the hormone that blocks fat burning. High insulin tells your body, hold on to fat. Low insulin tells your body, it's safe to burn fat. So, by avoiding these 3 breakfast mistakes, you are essentially flipping a metabolic switch. You are telling your body that it doesn't need to panic and store energy, it can relax and burn energy. Now I want you to take a moment and think about your own morning routine. What did you eat this morning? Or what do you usually eat? Do you see any of these patterns in your own life? Maybe you're the oatmeal with fruit and brown sugar person. Maybe you're the grab a smoothie on the way out person. Or maybe you're the one who just has coffee first thing because you're not hungry, only to find yourself ravenous and shaky by 10 a.m. because you skipped breakfast entirely. which, by the way, is a whole other blood sugar disaster because your body will release stored sugar into your blood and then you crash. I want to hear from you. Which of these three mistakes hit closest to home for you? Or maybe you've already discovered the magic of a high-protein breakfast and you want to share your favorite go-to meal. Drop a comment below and let me know. Tell me your biggest struggle with mornings, or share a breakfast win if you've already fixed it. Your comments not only help build this community, but they help other people who are reading and trying to figure this out for themselves. They see your experience and they think, oh, that's me, and it gives them the push they need to try something new. So please take a second, scroll down, and write something. I read these comments and I want to know what you think. Making a change to your breakfast might seem small, but it is one of the most powerful steps you can take for your long-term health. It's not about perfection, and it's not about never having a bagel or a pastry again. It's about understanding the rules of the game so you can play it wisely. When you know that a bagel with cream cheese is a blood sugar bomb, you can make an informed choice. Maybe you have it, but you eat it after some eggs and avocado to blunt the spike. Or maybe you decide that today isn't the day for that. The power is in the knowledge. And now you have the knowledge to fix the 3 most common breakfast mistakes that spike your blood sugar. Start tomorrow. Just try it for one day. Have a breakfast built on protein, fat, and fiber, and see how you feel at 11 a.m. I promise you, the difference in your energy and clarity will be the only motivation you need to keep going. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.